Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Ellsworth, and I just wanted to thank you for giving me the opportunity to present the summary today. Specifically, I'm excited to see all of your comments, but to Professor Cotham, I'm looking forward to your evaluation, and this has been awesome, genuinely. But what I'm going to walk you all through is a legal and strategic overview of paid leave in the hospitality industry. And this is not only a compliance issue, but also one that impacts our staffing, guest experience, and ability to retain great talent. But my research focuses on how current laws shape what we must do, but more importantly, how we can be proactive in designing policies that meet the needs of our people and support the business. So let's dive in. I'd like to begin with a scenario that unfortunately we see a lot. What happens when a hotel worker needs to care for a sick parent or their newborn child? For most hospitality workers, the answer is they lose their paycheck. While the Family and Medical Leave Act gives certain workers job protection, it doesn't guarantee any income. And this gap has made paid leave one of the most debated benefits in the American workforce, especially as hospitality continues to struggle with labor shortages and retention issues. But legally speaking, paid leave is regulated at multiple levels, with often overlapping or even conflicting obligations. Let's start at the federal level. Under the FMLA, eligible employees are entitled up to 12 weeks of unpaid job protected leave for specific family or medical reasons. And this is a solid foundation, but it excludes millions of part-time and hourly hospitality workers, either because they don't meet the hours threshold or because they work for smaller employees not covered under the act. And this was found from the US Department of Labor article in 2024. And as a personal example, I worked on Call It the Venetian, and I did not meet the hours threshold, so I did not get FMLA. But beyond FMLA, there's Federal Employee Paid Leave Act, FEPLA, which does provide paid leave, but only for federal employees. So for hotels, restaurants, resorts, and private sector employees like us, it doesn't apply. What complicates this even more is that states are beginning to create their own unpaid leave laws. California and Washington, for example, have robust paid family and medical leave programs that offer wage replacement for qualifying events. And these state level laws create what many call a compliance patchwork. Employers operating in multiple states must now manage different eligibility rules, benefit formulas, and notice requirements. And this is from the Congressional Research Service posted 2 years ago. But this legal fragmentation can create liability for businesses if policies aren't updated, or worse, if frontline managers misinterpret the law. That's why understanding the legal framework is not just a responsibility for human resources, but for every leader involved in workforce planning. But hospitality workers are some of the least likely to receive paid benefits. Only around 10% had access to paid family leave in 2022, compared to much higher numbers in other industries. And that's alarming, given that our workforce is made up of largely hourly, part time, and seasonal staff. The result? Increased stress, burnout, and high turnover, hurting both our people and our organizations. But now let's flip the coin and talk business. One of our biggest concerns around implementing paid leave is cost. But here's what the data tells us: failing to offer it may actually be more expensive. Replacing an hourly employee in hospitality can cost as much as 20% of their annual salary, factoring in recruitment, onboarding, and lost productivity, found in Mercer, posted in 2022. If we experience high turnover, these costs compound very quickly, and they're often hidden in our budgets under categories like overtime, agency temp work, and lost service quality. Paid leave isn't just a cost, it's also a talent strategy. And younger workers, especially millennials and Gen Z, now expect benefits like paid leave as a basic part of employment. In fact, Deloitte found that paid leave is one of the top 3 factors workers consider when deciding whether to stay or join a company. Offering paid leave can therefore be a competitive differentiator in attracting and retaining top talent. And importantly, it fosters just a culture of care, loyalty, and long term engagement. And these elements are very increasingly tied to business success. Fortunately, there are smart and manageable ways to move forward. First, combine vacation, sick, and personal days into one flexible PTO policy. Second, invest in training human resources to stay compliant with state regulations and communicate benefits clearly. And finally, keep an eye on changing laws, especially in states where we plan to operate or plan to expand. These practices not only support legal compliance, but they boost employee engagement. But according to American Progress in 2025, reducing liability and improving workplace culture often go hand in hand. And hospitality businesses that embrace paid leave are more likely to report higher employee satisfaction, better service scores, and improved brand reputation. But to summarize, paid leave in hospitality should no longer be optional. It's a legal maze, yes, but also a strategic opportunity. We need to recognize the evolving expectations of today's workforce and meet them not just because the law tells us to, but because it's the right thing for our people and for our business. From a compliance perspective, staying current with both federal and state regulations protects us from liability. From an operational perspective, paid leave helps reduce turnover, improve morale, and attract the kind of talent that delivers excellence to our guests. The bottom line, paid leave is no longer a perk. It should be the standard. And if we act now, we can lead the industry and not lag behind it. Thank you. I am happy, as mentioned, to see all your comments and answer any questions and also to support further discussion. Thank you again. Also, these are my references that I used in my legal summary final paper and also to present to you all. Thank you again.